So the other day I shot a video out in the woods, just kind of chatting a little bit. I told you guys on the next video I wanted to talk about, and I didn't get around to videoing anymore that day. I was going to, but I didn't. So yeah, I told you I was going to get around to talking about my Jeep, modern life, the modern world, and some things I have issues with. So we're just going to talk a little bit about that this morning. So I want to introduce you to my little 1992 Jeep YJ, and I'm very happy with this little vehicle right here. This is my main vehicle. So I'm going to step out of the sun and go in the backyard, and we're going to sit down with a cup of coffee, and we're going to talk about vehicles and my lifestyle and just some questions that people have had or comments they've made before. I want to try to clear some of that up. Okay? All right. Got a cup of coffee, and there's a Journey out there waiting on a squirrel. She heard me. So let's head outside and we'll talk a little bit. There she goes. Got to move some plants out of the way. Getting ready to start the garden. Put this right there on the grill. Give me a little bit of room here. Got some tomato plants, onions. Got some cantaloupe in there somewhere. You know, I've watched a lot of videos over the past week, and basically I've just been talking about expensive vehicles now, how expensive they got and how expensive they are to work on. All of a sudden on YouTube, my YouTube feed starts popping up those videos, and I've been watching some of them. And I just got through watching one this morning where this guy really has regrets of buying that dream truck. You know, now that truck owns him, and you know, he's talking about he pays $1,000 a month or $1,200 a month, something like that, on his truck payment, because he paid like $86,000 for it on a long-term note. His insurance is like $1,000 a month. Oil changes are just under $400. You know, just all this stuff. And another thing I thought about in that too as well is you got to think about, you got to buy gap insurance when you buy those trucks, because there's no way a regular insurance policy is going to cover the cost of that truck, because they depreciate so fast when you drive them off the lot. So I've been, you know, so those videos started popping up, and it kind of prompted me to talk about my old Jeep that you saw at the first of the video. And a lot of my friends will, you know, make comments or ask me, you know, how do you get time to go off and do these fun things? And so it's very simple. I'm a minimalist, one, first of all, not to the point of some, you know, where you only have one cup and one fork. I'm not that guy. But my travel trailer is an '89 model Casita that I can work on. I've had it for 10 years and I paid cash for it. My main vehicle now is a '92 Jeep YJ that I can work on, and even if I hire somebody else to work on it, it's cheap. I use canoes and kayaks instead of bass boats. So there's, yes, definitely you can live, you can have freedom, you can have time. I'm self-employed. I quit my job 21 years ago. I brought my sons into the business. Now they're helping with the business. I have free time to take care of all the things my wife probably doesn't, you know, have time to do, because she works a 40-hour-a-week job. And so we both bring in decent incomes. We keep our standard living low. We got a 1,200 square foot house that was built in 1980. We live on a little acre land, and we're just, you know, if we want to take an expensive vacation, we can do it. You know, if we want to take a cruise, which I can't do cruises, I throw up everywhere. I've tried that twice. I don't think I'll survive a third one. But, you know, if we want to hop a plane and go to Cancun, we could do it. You know, it's just not that big a deal. So, you know, when people ask me how all this works, well, it's just very simple. You can't fall in love with the world and own all these expensive things and have time, because now there are I know some really wizard guys that start these bigger companies, and they're very, very well at management and put the right people in place. That's few and far between. But guys like me and you, just guys that's work for a living and have a trade, it's, you know, it's just not feasible to buy all those things and expect to have, you know, this extra time and to do these things. So that's the only way. You know, I've got a friend that owns a big business, property management company, and I know it's been several years ago. I was over at his mansion, working on his mansion, helping him with something, and he asked me. He said, "How do you?" He said, "No, he didn't ask me." He said, I wish I could live your lifestyle. Just be a free spirit, just hop up and go." I said, "You can." He said, "How's that?" I said, "You get rid of all of this." He said, "There's no way. I couldn't do it." You know, that guy could probably get rid of all that stuff and sell all of his properties, get into a van and travel the rest of his life and live in the lap of luxury. But he does love what he does. And there are people that love what they do and they don't mind the pressure, they don't mind the long hours. So, you know, good for them. I'm happy for them. But as far as me, that's the reason I got into bushcraft, because I can get by with less. I always like trying to get by with less, or take something old and make it new again. And that's just the mindset you have to have if you want to live a life that you're not just tied down. You know, you, if I don't like my situation work-wise, I can always change it. If I don't like somebody I'm working for, I can always change it. I can always go find another client. I can always float a little bit. And that's where you got to be with it. I'm not a rich man. I guess when you look at my income versus to what I have to put out each month, yeah, we're pretty wealthy. You know, we don't have a lot, but we're wealthy. And time means everything, especially at my age. You know, way more behind me than there is in front of me. So I'm going to live it up. So if my advice to somebody my age or younger or older even, unload all that. If you want to live a lifestyle where you have time to do the things you want to do, then unload all that baggage, get out from underneath all that baggage, and just breathe. And it's just a lot easier. Like I said, that 92 Jeep, my favorite vehicle I've ever owned. Doesn't even have an air conditioner in it. I love it because it's not a burden to me. I know it's always going to be there. I know I can always fix it. I know I can always afford to fix it. There's no payment. Nobody's going to repossess it. And the tags are cheap. So I hope that answers some questions. I hear these questions a lot in comments. So, and if you're living the same kind of lifestyle, put it in the comments. Talk to me a little bit. Got more videos coming up. We're going to be doing some hitting the rivers. I think we're going to go to the Buffalo River this summer pretty quick. So anyway, just yeah, enjoy the simple life. It's beautiful. Anyway, we'll see you on the next one.